Most people believe that if a doctor recommends something, it must be the safest, smartest choice for their health. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Some of the most common medical decisions, the ones that feel responsible, proactive, even life-saving, can quietly make your health worse over time. Not immediately, not dramatically, but slowly, at the level of your metabolism, your hormones, and your cellular energy. My name is Dr. Zeno Phantom, and I've been practicing medicine for over 15 years. Let me tell you about a patient, Ahmed, 52 years old, a bank manager. He came to me with fatigue, weight gain, and brain fog. His fasting blood sugar was 126 mg/dl. His triglycerides were 240, and he had been placed on medication to control his condition. 6 months later, his numbers looked slightly better on paper, but he had gained 8 kilograms. His energy had dropped further, and his waistline kept expanding. What changed? We didn't add more medication. We reversed the decisions that were quietly damaging his metabolism. Within 90 days, his fasting glucose dropped to 95. Triglycerides fell to 140. He lost 11 kilograms, and most importantly, his energy came back. Today, I'm going to show you exactly 5 medical decisions that seem right, but can slowly make your life worse, especially after 40. According to the World Health Organization, over 70% of chronic diseases are driven by lifestyle and metabolic dysfunction, not a true deficiency of medication. Most people miss this because they focus on symptoms, not root causes. And when you treat symptoms without understanding what's happening underneath, you create a silent imbalance: low energy, hormonal disruption, fat storage, accelerated aging. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your metabolism is like a control system, driven by insulin, cortisol, liver function, and cellular energy production. When you make the wrong medical decisions, you don't fix the system. You suppress the warning signals, and that's what we're going to uncover today. By the end of this video, you'll understand which common health decisions may be backfiring, what's actually happening inside your body, and simple, natural strategies to correct course. Starting today. Because once you understand the mechanism, you stop guessing, and you start healing. Here are the 6 critical insights we're going to break down. Why lowering symptoms without fixing insulin can worsen disease. How over-reliance on medications can slow metabolism. Why eating less often backfires hormonally. The hidden damage of avoiding natural cholesterol pathways. How ignoring liver health sabotages everything. Why timing, not just food, controls your biology. Point 1. Controlling blood sugar with medication, but ignoring insulin. And this one surprises my patients the most. Most of my patients tell me, "Doctor, my blood sugar is under control now, so I'm getting healthier." They feel reassured because their glucose numbers look better on paper. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. Blood sugar is only the surface signal. The real driver behind it is insulin. When you rely only on medication to push glucose down, without addressing insulin resistance, your body is still in a high insulin state. And chronically elevated insulin is a fat storage hormone. It tells your body, store energy, don't burn it. So even though your blood sugar looks controlled, your metabolism is actually getting slower, more resistant, more inflamed. This is how people end up gaining weight, losing energy, and progressing toward deeper metabolic dysfunction, even while following medical advice. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your blood sugar is like water overflowing from a sink. Medication is like wiping the water off the floor. But insulin resistance? That's the clogged drain. If you never fix the drain, the overflow keeps coming back, and eventually the system breaks. According to the American Diabetes Association, over 90% of people with type 2 diabetes have insulin resistance as the underlying cause. Yet most treatments focus primarily on lowering glucose, not fixing insulin. My recommendation for every patient over 40: start with a simple metabolic reset. Walk for 10-15 minutes after each meal. Reduce refined carbohydrates, especially sugar and white flour. Increase protein and healthy fats in your first meal of the day. This alone can begin lowering insulin naturally, not just masking glucose. Don't just control the symptom. Fix the cause, not next month. Today. Point 2. Taking medications long-term without addressing root causes. And almost nobody talks about this one. Almost every patient I've seen with chronic conditions says, "Doctor, I'll just take this medicine for life. That's the safest plan." They believe long-term medication equals long-term health. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. Many medications are designed to manage symptoms, not resolve the underlying dysfunction. For example, acid blockers reduce stomach acid, but don't fix poor digestion. Blood pressure meds relax vessels, but don't address insulin or inflammation. Cholesterol meds lower numbers, but don't fix metabolic damage. Over time, this creates dependency, while the root cause continues progressing silently. Even more important, some medications can interfere with normal physiology: reduced stomach acid, poor protein absorption, muscle loss, altered gut environment, microbiome imbalance, nutrient depletion like magnesium, B12, CoQ10, fatigue and brain fog, so the body becomes weaker, while the lab numbers may look controlled. Think of it like this. Your body is a house with a fire alarm going off. Medication turns off the alarm sound. But the fire? It's still burning inside the walls, and without addressing it, the damage continues, quietly. Research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, has shown that nearly 60% of adults over 40 are on at least one long-term prescription medication, yet rates of chronic disease continue to rise, not fall. My recommendation for every patient over 40: don't stop medication abruptly, but start supporting your biology daily. Add whole, nutrient-dense foods, leafy greens, eggs, healthy fats. Get 15 to 20 minutes of sunlight exposure. Prioritize sleep, 7 to 8 hours minimum, and most importantly, ask, what is the root cause this medication is not addressing? That question alone can change your entire health trajectory. Don't silence the alarm. Put out the fire. Start today. Point 3. Eating less to lose weight. And this is where most people unknowingly damage their metabolism. Most of my patients tell me, "Doctor, I just need to eat less and move more." That's how weight loss works. They start cutting calories aggressively, skipping meals, constantly feeling hungry. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. When you drastically reduce calories, especially without proper nutrition, your body doesn't think, "Let's burn fat." It thinks, "We are in a survival situation." So your metabolism adapts, your thyroid activity slows down, your cortisol levels increase. Your body starts conserving energy instead of burning it. And here's the key point. Your body begins to protect fat and burn muscle instead. This leads to slower metabolism, fatigue, hormonal imbalance, and eventually, weight regain. This is why so many people lose weight initially, and then gain it back even faster. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your metabolism is like a furnace in your home. Food is the fuel. If you keep reducing the fuel drastically, the furnace doesn't burn hotter. It shuts down to conserve energy, and now your entire system becomes cold, slow, and inefficient. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that severe calorie restriction can reduce metabolic rate by up to 20–25%, making long-term weight loss significantly harder. My recommendation for every patient over 40: instead of eating less, eat strategically. Start your day with a protein-rich meal, eggs, yogurt, or meat. Avoid constant snacking. Allow insulin levels to drop between meals. Consider a 12-14 hour overnight fasting window. This helps your body switch back into fat-burning mode, naturally. Stop starving your body. Start fueling it correctly, not next week. Today. Point 4. Avoiding cholesterol completely to protect your heart. And this one is deeply misunderstood. Almost every patient I have seen says, "Doctor, I've cut out all cholesterol, eggs, butter, red meat, because I want to protect my heart." They believe dietary cholesterol is the main cause of heart disease. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. Cholesterol is not the enemy. In fact, it's one of the most critical building blocks in your body. Your body uses cholesterol to build cell membranes, produce hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and cortisol, support brain function and nerve signaling. And here's the key. About 70–80% of your cholesterol is made by your liver, not just absorbed from food. So when you eliminate healthy cholesterol sources completely, without addressing inflammation, insulin resistance, or liver health, you don't fix the problem. You may actually impair hormone production and cellular repair. What the research shows is heart disease is more strongly linked to chronic inflammation, oxidized LDL particles, high insulin levels, not simply total cholesterol intake. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of cholesterol like bricks used to build a house. If the walls are damaged, your body sends more bricks to repair them. Blaming cholesterol for heart disease is like blaming the bricks, instead of asking why the walls keep getting damaged. According to research published in the British medical journal, BMJ, nearly 50% of people hospitalized with heart disease had normal cholesterol levels, highlighting that cholesterol alone is not the root cause. My recommendation for every patient over 40: focus on cholesterol quality and metabolic health, not fear. Include whole food sources like eggs and healthy fats. Reduce processed seed oils and sugar, which drive oxidation. Add anti-inflammatory foods like olive oil, nuts, and leafy greens. Support the system. Don't just restrict inputs. Don't fear cholesterol. Understand it. Start today. Point 5. Ignoring liver health while treating symptoms. And this is the silent driver behind most chronic disease. Most of my patients tell me, my liver tests are normal, so my liver must be fine. They assume that unless something shows up on a basic lab report, there's no problem. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. Your liver is the central metabolic control system. It regulates blood sugar balance, fat metabolism, hormone breakdown like estrogen and cortisol, detoxification of chemicals and medications. And here's the issue. You can have a sluggish, fatty, or overburdened liver long before standard lab tests show abnormalities. This is especially common in people with insulin resistance, belly fat, high triglycerides, low energy. When the liver becomes overloaded, fat starts accumulating inside it. This condition, often called fatty liver, directly worsens insulin resistance, making weight loss harder and energy lower. So even if you're treating symptoms like blood sugar, cholesterol, or fatigue, if the liver isn't functioning properly, nothing fully improves. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your liver like a factory manager. It processes, packages, and distributes everything in your body. If the manager becomes overwhelmed and disorganized, products pile up, systems slow down, and errors increase everywhere. That's exactly what happens when your liver is overloaded. According to global health data, nearly 25% of adults worldwide have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, and many don't even know it because early stages often show no clear symptoms. My recommendation for every patient over 40: support your liver daily with simple actions. Drink a glass of water with lemon in the morning. Reduce sugar and refined carbs, especially fructose-heavy foods. Add bitter foods like green vegetables to stimulate bile flow. Avoid late-night eating. Give your liver time to reset overnight. These small habits reduce liver fat and improve metabolic function over time. Don't ignore your liver. Everything depends on it. Start today. Point 6. Focusing only on what you eat and ignoring when you eat, and this one quietly controls your entire biology. Almost every patient I've seen says, "Doctor, as long as I eat healthy foods, timing doesn't really matter." They focus on calories, ingredients, and diet types, but completely ignore meal timing. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. Your body runs on a biological clock, your circadian rhythm. This clock controls insulin sensitivity, hormone release, like cortisol and melatonin, digestion, and nutrient absorption. When you eat late at night or constantly snack throughout the day, you disrupt this rhythm. And here's the key. Your insulin sensitivity is highest in the earlier part of the day and lowest at night. So eating the same meal at 10 p.m. versus 10 a.m. creates a completely different metabolic response. Late eating leads to higher blood sugar spikes, increased fat storage, poor sleep quality, slower recovery. Over time, this pattern alone can drive weight gain, fatigue, and metabolic dysfunction, even if your food choices are healthy. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your metabolism like a factory with working hours. During the day, everything is fully staffed and efficient. At night, the lights are dim, the workers are gone, and production slows down. If you keep sending in raw materials at midnight, nothing gets processed properly. It just piles up. Research published in Cell Metabolism found that people who ate later in the day had significantly higher fat storage and reduced calorie burning, even when consuming the same number of calories. My recommendation for every patient over 40: align your eating with your biology. Finish your last meal at least 2 to 3 hours before sleep. Aim for a consistent 12-14 hour overnight fasting window. Eat your largest meal earlier in the day when insulin sensitivity is higher. This simple shift can dramatically improve energy, fat burning, and sleep. It's not just what you eat, it's when you eat. Fix it today. Let's bring this together clearly. The biggest mistake most people make is assuming that common or standard medical decisions automatically lead to better health. But as you've seen today, many of these decisions focus on controlling symptoms, not correcting the underlying biology. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Blood sugar is driven by insulin, not just glucose. Medications can mask dysfunction without resolving it. Undereating slows your metabolism instead of fixing it. Cholesterol is a tool, not the root cause of heart disease. Your liver controls your entire metabolic system, and your biological clock determines how efficiently your body uses energy. When you ignore these systems, health slowly declines, even if everything looks fine on paper. But when you start working with your body instead of against it, everything changes. More energy, better fat burning, clearer thinking, stronger long-term health. So here's my challenge to you. Don't try to fix everything at once. Pick just one of these changes today. Maybe it's walking after meals. Maybe it's finishing dinner earlier. Maybe it's focusing on protein instead of cutting calories. And track how your body responds. Because real health is not built on guesswork. It's built on understanding and small, consistent actions. If this added value, like the video and subscribe to join others optimizing their health naturally. I'll see you in the next one.